mi amigos? ¿Cómo estás? Forget the Spanish. Hey guys, it's Extremizer here today, and I am bringing you yet another extreme talking point video presentation. And today, I will be discussing Mario Kart 8 yet again. This is my second video dealing with that title, and it's basically going to be centered around what it means for Wii U's graphical fidelity. Now, the whole next-gen discussion between all three consoles has been one big war zone. It's like the outbreak of post-World War III or something. Honestly, it's been really controversial, really hectic for developers, for gamers in general. You know, there have been so many, discussions back and forth on different popular websites about how powerful each of these systems are. And the Wii U has been like, the runt of the group, that weird red-headed kid in the family. It just stands out because it's different. In every possible way, it's different. And what do you expect? It's a Nintendo console. Of course it's different. That's what they're all about. Being different. And one of the things that Nintendo has been different about for quite some time now, generations I guess you can say, is that unlike Sony and Microsoft, which have no issues with flaunting what their systems are capable of in terms of giving us the exact specifications about how much gigaflops it can do, how much RAM does it have, how much cores does it have, what graphics card it's using. They have no issues with telling us about that. Nintendo, on the other hand, they have been really vague as to exactly what their systems can do. And the Wii U, it's been the exact same thing. To this day, we still don't know from Nintendo themselves what is inside of it. There have been many discussions about it. There have been some who have reverse engineered it, cracked it open, examined it closely to see what's on the inside, but we still don't know what this system is truly capable of. And it seems like with every new first-party title, and with every new third-party exclusive, it's becoming clearer and clearer this fact. The Wii U is not a slouch. It's not a technological slouch by any means. Many have touted it, developers and gamers, saying that it's weak, it's underpowered, that it's barely more powerful than the PS3 or the 360. These remarks have been made countless of times and in so many different ways. It's ridiculous in the 1.5 years that the system has been out. Yet even so, I can name quite a few titles right off the bat. Some have yet to be released, some have already been released. A few titles right off the bat that can back up the statement that Wii U is no technological slouch. When you look at titles like Pikmin 3 or Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Monolith Soft's X game, Bayonetta 2, Wonderful 101, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Boom, Super Mario 3D World, Assassin's Creed 4, Need for Speed Most Wanted U, and of course, our main showstopper here, Mario Kart 8. When you look at these titles, one thing is blatantly obvious. Yes, they're all different from each other, but one common thread runs through all of them. And a few others that I can't name right now, I can't remember, but just from the ones that I have just named, one thing is clearly obvious. They're beautiful. They are beautiful games. It really doesn't matter if the Wii U is not at the same power level. Yes, I'm bringing Dragon Ball Z into this. At the same power level as the PS4 or the Xbox One. That doesn't change the fact that these titles look really good. Now you may argue, oh well, if it was on PS4, it would look much better. And in some cases, some of the games I mentioned, they were on PS4, like Assassin's Creed 4 for instance. That was also on PS4, and yes, it did look better. But on Wii U, it looked good anyway. And that's my point here. These titles look great, despite the fact that they're running on this weak, underpowered, underperforming system. It makes no sense that so many developers have came out and so many gamers just shower them with love for saying that the Wii U is not up to par with the PS4 or the Xbox One. Yes, we know that. We know it's not as powerful as those systems, and if Nintendo wanted to, it could have been, but for whatever reason they opted not to focus on power yet again. And has that killed them? No, it hasn't, because in the meantime, while everyone's been complaining that it's not as powerful as the two other systems, Nintendo has been releasing game after game after game, and all of them look great. You can't tell me that Wind Waker HD doesn't look good, or Super Mario 3D World doesn't look good, or Pikmin 3 doesn't look good, and of course, Mario Kart 8 doesn't look good. You can't tell me that and expect me to look at you like you're some kind of logical human being who actually knows how to use their eyes and to use their mind. Like, come on, the evidence is right there. Nintendo is not playing around. They are once again proving to us that you do not need a Lamborghini or a Bugatti of a console in order to have a good console. No, the Wii U is not the Bugatti Veyron. It's not like the PS4. It's not a Bugatti Veyron. The Wii U is probably more or less comparable to, let's see, maybe a lower class Ferrari, I guess you could say. Because at its best, it's still more powerful than the PS3 or the 360. That is for sure. And Mario Kart 8 goes ahead to prove that. No, Mario Kart 8 is not as realistic looking as other titles like Crisis 3 or Battlefield 4 or GTA 5 or Watch Dogs, just to name a few. It doesn't have that same realistic environment settings such as those games. But regardless, it looks great. We've all probably seen a modern day Pixar movie, and if it's one thing, even though they're all different, if it's one thing that can be said about any Pixar movie, old or new, is that they look really good. You know, they're very colorful, they're very bright, they're very characteristic and expressive with their visual art style. And that's exactly what Nintendo does with their games. They create these profoundly beautiful games, even though they're not as incredibly realistically rich as other titles out there, like the ones I just mentioned, like Watch Dogs or Crisis or Battlefield. Even though they're not trying to be hyper-realistic like those titles, they don't have to be, because in the end, their art style is what makes them look good. A title like Super Mario Sunshine, or Super Mario Galaxy, or Skyward Sword, or Paper Mario, titles like those still look good today, or Kirby's Epic Yarn, or Kirby's Return to Dreamland, just to name a few. They still look good today, even though they are not anywhere near in the same boat as the titles, as modern day titles that we're getting right now. But their art style is what carries them and what makes them look so good. And that's the exact same thing that Nintendo is pounding into the ground with a gigantic hammer with Mario Kart 8 running on the Wii U. The game looks good. You're looking at the footage right now. Look at those lighting effects. Look at those particle effects. Look at those shaders and those shadows and the amounts of bloom and depth of field. Just look at it. It looks great. And they've even added a few little extras to it because of the added polygons that they're now able to use. Look how Mario's mustache flutters in the wind. Look how Peach's hair flows in the wind. Look at the turning axles that's connecting the wheels to the main body of the cart. Look at the exhaust that's coming out of the boost. Look at the skid marks that are appearing on the ground. All these little subtle effects. Look at that water. Oh my goodness, that water. Look at the fireworks in the background and the buildings illuminating in the distance. Look at that sun, man. That bloody sun. Look at the glare effects that are coming off of that. Yes, I sound like a total graphics junkie right now, and I usually do not sound like this. Why? Because I do not play games for graphics. I play games to have fun. But since everyone seems to care more about how many pixels a game has that a game is rendered in, and how many polygons is in the virtual world that they're currently using, since everyone seems, well, generally everyone seems to care about that these days. That's what I'm discussing here. And Mario Kart 8 is clearly one of those games that I can say, look, quote unquote, next gen. That's a term that I've come to hate. Why? Because it's being overused way too many times by gamers and by developers. You know, next gen starts here, that Ubisoft is showing with Watch Dogs, for instance. So many developers are saying, oh, look at these next gen graphics, and the gamer's like, oh my goodness, 1080p, somebody pass me a tissue, I need to change my pants. It's not that serious, guys. Not that serious. Here, what I'm saying is basically that Mario Kart 8, if next gen were really about how powerful a console is, Mario Kart 8 and the Wii U perfectly describe that the Wii U is indeed next gen. Generation has nothing to do with graphics, just in case you didn't know. Generation has to do with age, time period, time itself, the flow of time. Let's put it into perspective in a way that anyone can understand. Okay, let's use 3 generations. Now, your parents and your grandparents are 3 generations. You are the 3rd generation. Your parents are the 2nd, and your grandparents are the 1st. Now, if you have kids of your own, then that means your kids are the 3rd generation. You are the 2nd generation, and your grandparents are the 1st generation. It goes down. It flows with time. Now let's reverse it in terms of gaming. We are now in the 8th generation. Alright? Now, the 6th, 7th, and 8th, those are the last 3 generations, the most recent 3 generations that we have. The 6th generation consisted of the the original PlayStation and the N64. And the Saturn, I believe, was the 6th generation system. And then we had this... Oh wait, no, I got that wrong. The 6th generation was PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Yes, the original Xbox. Xbox One. The 7th generation was PS3, Wii, and 360. And now the 8th generation, our current one, is Wii U, PS4, and all new Xbox One. Yes. Wonderful name you have there, Microsoft. But anyway, that is what generation is all about. It flows with time. The Wii was a next-gen system when it was released. Was it HD like the PS3 and the 360? No, it wasn't. It was still a next-gen system because it was the successor to the GameCube, which was a part of the 6th generation. Just as how the PS3 was the successor of the PS2 and the Xbox 360 was the successor to the original Xbox, that made it into a new generation. So, in like manner, the Wii U, no matter which way you spin it, is a next generation system, by definition. Now, let's do it in the modern day terms. Power, performance, what it can do. I've already listed a few games that looked phenomenally great despite the fact that they're running on the underdog of this next generation. And Mario Kart 8 is seeking to really bring that point home. Call it what you want, but the Wii U is not weak. Alright, it's not underpowered at all. It's no technical slouch. You are looking at the footage. Like I said before, you are looking at it. You can see for yourself that the game looks great. It looks like a Pixar movie that's been reformatted into a game. That is by no means a bad thing at all. It looks great, and honestly, as if I needed more proof, this is now just basically proven to me that Nintendo knows what they're doing in terms of the Wii U's power. They know that the system can do really amazing things. And considering the fact that it's already been proven to be more powerful than the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, just think about it. In the 7 years that we had the aforementioned systems, the ancients, as I like to call them now, because they're almost 10 years old, both of those consoles, they performed beautifully in terms of creating some really great looking games. When you look back and we see titles like BioShock Infinite, Portal 2, I'm just naming them out of my head here. Halo 4, yes, that's another one. Crysis 3, GTA 5, just to name a few. Those titles looked good. Now, when you look at how developers were able to use the power of those systems to create titles like that, just imagine Nintendo can do with the Wii U. A more powerful system. Just look at Mario Kart 8 right here in front of you. It looks really good. So indeed, it should be really interesting to see exactly what happens from here on out. With all the rumors that Mario Kart 8 is going to be native 1080p and 60 frames, it would make it the very first Wii U game to do that completely. The Wii U has 1080p games, but not all of them run at a silky smooth 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and not all of them are native 1080p. They're upscaled. Mario Kart 8 is said to be native 1080p and run at a silky smooth, locked 60 frames. We already know it's going to be running at a smooth 60 frames permanently. That is concrete. We've seen the footage. But what we don't know is that if it's going to be native 1080p or not. And if it is, I can tell you, no, it's not Killzone. No, it's not Battlefield. No, it's not GTA. No, it's not Crysis. It's not Watch Dogs or The Order 1886. It's not any of those hyper-realistic looking games. But it's beautiful by all means, and it's really exciting to see where Nintendo goes on their technological trek with the Wii U from here on out. But I have to say, as if they didn't already do it, they have made the Wii U once again look really good, and I am definitely excited to be playing Mario Kart 8 very soon, and I think I'm going to have fun with it. It's going to be a fun game, and of course, as a wonderful addition, it's also going to be really beautiful. Alright guys, so that's just about it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again soon, and as always, have a great day, and keep on gaming. This is Extreme Azure, signing off.